if you
flow.
go do
Like,
the stuff you want to do, your
experience.
rave bae will find you, man.
Yeah.
Like the rave
They
bae
will
will
be-
be
I like
there.
that.
You know
I
what
like
mean?
that.
Yeah.
she'll
And it
be
really
there.
does. It really does happen that way.
Wow. Thanks for the wisdom.
I just stand in the corner watching with a drink in my hand.
It is Levy one.
Oh my god.
This is a new look on Rave Dad. You have to know how to marry
Rave
people.
father.
Rave father.
That makes so much sense.
After the festival, I check to see if the vibe check is still there. Are we like still vibing? But I don't.
How many
I don't.
times have you done this, Nan?
Wait. You
How many
get their
times you
numbers?
done
No, listen, no, I don't. Actually, I don't.
He's like, all right, look, I got
No,
this.
listen.
It was like in my comments like, you forgot deodorant. You're
The
stinky.
fact,
I was
the
like,
fact that
oh,
someone
okay.
took their
I'm
time to
sorry.
read that whole thing.
You're stinky.
Well, okay, I appreciate it too.
Yeah,
I didn't
feels
like the
pretty-
stinky comment. Though.
You're
I was like,
stinky.
Yeah, I don't know. That makes me feel a certain way.
Welcome back to the I'm Peaking podcast on live location at Serene Resort with the one and only.
Wait, can I do that? I want to.
The way you said
Wait, can I say it?
I'm
I have an idea.
sorry.
I have an idea. Can I say that?
Yeah,
Kind
go.
of kind of sensual.
Hi, welcome back to the I'm Peaking podcast. We are
Podcast.
Pad.
You know what? One more time. Do it. One more time. Run it back.
Hi, welcome back to the I'm Peaking podcast. We are live here at Ono Resort. Well, actually, it's Serene Resort with the Ono takeover being one and only. So, yeah, we are actually in Vegas right now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
On site, not in a studio, not in like a rented pier space. Like this is
Feels kind of
wild.
weird.
And we're still homeless. I'm
my
just
God.
kidding.
Hey man, we're in Vegas. Did you guys know that in Vegas there's like an underground like homeless
God.
Yeah.
homeless
Yes.
like
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like a civilization, but it's like a community.
It's like their own little
no.
city.
Like, wait,
Dude.
homeless what? Like,
community.
Like their
there's
own
the-
little
like-
city.
Homeless what? Is that what you said?
I thought he was
homeless
gonna say
dolphins.
I thought he was gonna
Daniel.
say there was like a community of like homeless ravers. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
No, homeless people in general.
Oh, okay. You think
Yeah.
some of them rave or?
Probably.
Maybe.
Maybe they have their own underground raves.
Hey, yeah, hey, the tunnels.
The
you know?
tunnel.
I mean, they're already underground. All they got to do is turn on music.
Would be a good place to start it. All right, well, now that we're here for EDC, let's go ahead and talk about EDC.
Question
You
of
guys
the day.
aren't going to see this until later. Oh, yeah, we also have a question.
Don't
of
say
the day.
that.
Why don't you do the question? You do the question.
Don't say that, Devin.
Question of the day. Do you guys like day pool parties or afters better?
Ooh, that's a good
Day
question.
parties.
Day parties,
Day
agree.
parties.
I agree.
I have not been to a day pool party.
we need to take you
We
to
were
one.
regardless though.
Mhm.
I love the energy of the afters. It's like everyone's holding on by a
That's
thread,
just-
but everyone's still trying to ride that high of like the festival.
Okay.
It's a grimy feeling, but it's a good
It's
one.
kind of depressing to me.
How?
Everyone's so tired.
I've had those afters where I've gone home at like 7 a.m. driving and it's like daylight out, and it is the most irritable drive of my life.
I mean, sure, but you had a good time. I think you're just not an afters person. That's okay. Not
I'm
everyone
really
is.
not
Not
an
everyone
afters
is.
person.
I like day parties only because I get to party at the day, take a nap, and then go party again
Oh yeah,
at night.
I dig that.
So that's why I prefer day parties.
Okay, is this a preference of day pool parties because you guys are a little bit older than I am, or does that have nothing to do with it?
I think it probably has something to do with it.
Okay.
But there
Yeah.
are plenty of older people who go to afters too, who like also like. I mean, literally, Weston here at Ono, like he's like an afters dude. He was like, "So you're doing the afters with us, right?" I'm like, "No, I'm going to bed." And he's like, "So you're doing the afters with us, right?" It's like, bro, he's like 30s.
I have no idea.
Yeah, he's like in his 30s.
He's
I'm
older
like,
than us, that's for
damn,
sure.
all right.
I feel like if I
Respect.
do a day pool party, I will be tired for the nightly events that I probably.
But that's why you take a nap.
All right, I'm not a nap person either. Why are you yelling at me?
I mean, honestly, once you take that first nap, it changes your life.
It does.
All right, well, I'll let you guys know when I take that first nap then.
I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for you.
Speaking of naps, I need
Never
one.
take a nap. I will say though, I feel like my college experience is honestly what made me like day parties more because we used to have day parties.
Dagers.
Yeah, we used to have dagers like in Greek life and stuff. And a lot of times the dagers were just better because the cops usually aren't getting called because it's like not
Okay.
nighttime.
That's the reason.
That's the
Not because
reason.
it's a great experience,
No,
but because
then
I'm not
also,
gonna get caught.
You can do all these like fun things during the day, like rent a bounce house. You can have like a freaking. We had a house that had a hill, so it had a backyard that had a hill that went into another backyard. So we built a dance floor in the second backyard. It was
pretty
like
cool,
all
actually.
vegetation. There's this little rope to like you have to like scale the rope down there, and on this hill we just put ice ice on the whole side of the hill and put all the alcohol in the ice.
Interesting.
Can
That's
you
actually
rewind
pretty
to the bounce house? You had a bounce house
We
at
had
one
a
of your
bounce house,
frat parties?
And we had a slip and slide.
What?
I
behind
can
the-
understand the slip and slide, but a
No,
whole bounce
but
house.
I mean like a bounce house slip and slide.
Okay,
like,
I see.
So but we had both. We had a jumper, so like something you could like you can go in the jumper, and then
trampoline?
also we had. No, not a trampoline. It was like a bounce. It was like a bounce house. Like
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like
yeah. I
the
know what
ones you
you're
rent
talking
out
about.
for like little kids' birthdays. Yeah, we had
Yeah.
that, and then we had the bounce house slip and slide behind
That's
the
pretty cool.
backyard.
That's like pretty cool.
That was like my sophomore year of college. Was like probably my best years of my college life.
Nice.
I feel like if I were to do day club or nightclub, just to bring it back to that, beach club for me for sure.
Yes.
But I do like dressing really nice for nightclubs. It's really fun.
Okay.
It's just a lot of work though.
For guys, it's easy. For girls, we have to wear heels. My feet
That's
do
valid.
not. My feet do not like that.
At least you guys don't have to pay.
I like. Okay, that is true. That is true. No, that's true. That's true. That's true. I'm not saying that's true.
No
That's true.
printer.
Okay.
Here, you're good. Sorry, it's a $20 card charge
Dude,
for
okay,
you.
we were just
What?
looking.
$20?
No.
$100.
Devin
Okay,
Larscheid-
sorry. Well, I've never been to any of the day clubs in Vegas.
No,
No,
we're talking
nightclubs.
So, fun fact for those of you who are not from Vegas or been to Vegas, what have you, a lot of the nightclubs out here, if you're a guy, minimum charge to get into any nightclub is about $100.
Yep.
Women,
Like
if there's
20.
and
Sometimes
here's,
free.
no, most of the time it's free. If there's at least 2 to 3 girls in a group, they go in for free.
That is why. Here's a tip. That is why you get a promoter and make sure that your group has mostly girls than guys.
Yeah, if you have a good ratio, then as a guy you might be able to get in.
No.
But
It has to be more.
you
more
usually have to
girls.
know someone.
That part. You have to know someone and you have to have a pretty good ratio because I've
Yeah.
definitely been one guy in a group of 7 girls, still had to pay.
Yeah.
That's yikes.
My advice is if you're going to Vegas, like for whatever reason, bachelor party, like just to go have fun with your friends, definitely reach out to some promoters and start getting to know them first. Don't just come in here and be like, yeah, we're going to go to all the clubs. You're going to
No.
be sorely disappointed or your wallet's going to be sorely disappointed. So.
You know what? Yeah, I forgot who told me. It's one of my friends who got married a couple years ago. They told me that the best place for bachelors to go, Hawaii. Best place for bachelorettes, Vegas.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Not Miami.
I don't think the fiancés are gonna probably like that, but
Speaking of like weddings in Vegas, what do you guys think about people eloping here in Vegas?
I think it's just normal. Like it's not the craziest thing in the world. I know a lot of people have eloped. Technically speaking, my parents kind of eloped. Like they just did a courthouse wedding and
no, but here in Vegas.
here-
oh, specifically in
Like the-
Vegas,
like the
not
freaking-
not the
like-
concept of eloping.
No, like the freaking drive-through,
Oh my
the
God.
drive-through chapels, the drive-through
Yeah,
chapels.
I think it's pretty normal.
And Elvis is officiating your wedding.
I don't think I'm one for like too much of tradition. If it's right for you, then it's right for you. You know, I mean, I'm not an elope kind of person. I don't see myself eloping.
Yeah.
But if you
Ah,
know,
you
if you
kids.
feel the need to elope,
You go do
then
you,
yeah,
boo.
do you.
It is a lot more like paperwork and stuff like that. But I will say, so my mom actually last year got married to her current now husband out here. So we came out here and they got married. It was a little tiny like wedding at one of the small wedding chapels.
Yeah.
But I know you can get married at EDC as well.
Oh, yeah.
And actually, we have a friend who's getting, well, she got married already, like officially, but she's getting married again at EDC.
Yeah.
Her and her husband.
I see those.
So.
It looks really cute. Their chapel over there at EDC at the little wedding is actually really pretty.
Mary?
Oh,
is-
they're already married.
Yeah, they got married the same day Keenan and Gina got married.
Oh shit!
That's why Celine had to fly. She had to drive to Tijuana.
shit.
She was late to Keenan and Gina's wedding, but she made it. And yeah, so she went to both weddings.
Okay, I didn't know that because like I remember seeing her recently and she said, "Oh, this is my fiance." That was a couple weeks ago, so I didn't know their wedding also happened.
Just for context, I went to, as some of you guys might know, I went to Cabo recently. It was for our friend Keenan and Gina's wedding. They had their wedding in Cabo. And one of our other friends, Mary, also got married the same day. And so one of our friends, Celine, literally went to both weddings. But Mary is getting married again at EDC on Saturday. So
Yeah, I think getting married at EDC is actually pretty dope. I love seeing like all of the brides have like their rave outfit and then their veils. I think it's like the cutest thing ever.
I just feel like that would be so much more to pack, though. Like,
So
you gotta
what?
pack
That's
a
where
whole,
his head
like,
went.
wedding thing.
Yeah, dude, an actual wedding, I'm pretty sure they pack a lot more.
That's
yeah,
true.
and that's more expensive.
Well, I mean, we'll get to this topic later, but like, I just want to talk about like later how crazy stressful it is to pack for EDC, like specifically
Yeah.
EDC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can cover that more later, but that shit, and I always procrastinate on my packing. I don't know
Same.
about you guys.
Oh, yeah,
Same.
no, dude.
I pack
And
the day I leave.
An hour before I got on the road for Vegas, I was still like packing all of my shit.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, no, it was rough.
Same.
My God.
I think I walked after I packed my car. I think I walked back inside like 6 more times.
Dude, I had made
Might
a
be an
whole
ADHD
packing
thing.
list. I made a whole packing list. I did check.
And then even after you check
That's
it all
how-
off, you're just like,
Daniel,
it's still
you
not
made
done.
it. You made a packing list.
I did
too.
make a packing
Yeah.
list. There was one thing I forgot though, and it was deodorant.
Oh my
You
god.
literally said
I-
on
One of
your
the-
video
one of
to
the
make
most
deodorant.
important
Well, yeah,
things.
I understand that, but in the actual packing list, I just forgot to put it in. And then there was someone that was like in my comments like, "You forgot deodorant. You're
The
stinky."
fact,
I was
the
like,
fact that
"Oh,
someone
okay.
took their
I'm
time to
sorry."
read that whole thing.
You're stinky.
Well, okay, I appreciate it too.
Yeah,
I
she
didn't
was
like the
pretty-
stinky comment though. I
You're
was like,
stinky.
Yeah, I don't know. That makes me feel a certain way.
But to circle it back to the getting married at EDC, I think it's a really cool concept. I don't know
Yeah.
if I would want it for myself.
I could see that. I
You
wouldn't
know?
want it either, but like it's a cute thing to do.
I think it'd be. I like the idea of getting married more than once to the same person. Like you have like an EDC kind of like ceremony with your raver friends.
Mhm.
Then you have the one at home for your family.
Yeah.
And then like, I don't know, like I used to like the idea of like every person I know and love would attend one giant wedding, but then I was like, that's a lot. That's
Yeah.
a lot, and I don't know if I truly feel that that's absolutely necessary.
I think it's a really good. It's a cool thing if you got married at EDC. If like, for example, you met your true love at a rave.
Yeah.
You met her at EDC. That's
Fuck, I
it.
gotta
You know,
get
it
married at
kind of
EDC.
brings it circled around.
What?
I met my girlfriend at a rave, and we got married at EDC. Not officially, but
Yeah, they
you know.
have like those not real ones, but like the short wedding vows that you guys can do at EDC.
That one was still cute. And apparently
Yeah.
that paper that they give us,
Uh-huh.
if you bring it to a courthouse, it counts as an actual document.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I
Wait,
didn't know.
Seriously?
Yes.
Whoa.
And then, so I took a picture of it and I was like, "Hey mom, I got married," and she fucking like she was like blowing up my phone. Obviously, I didn't have any service, but
Uh-huh.
like
Yeah.
at the end of the night, I had like I think 30 missed calls.
Oh my
And she
God.
was like, "What the fuck did you do?" And I was like, "You're mad over this? It was a joke. It was an
Yeah.
unofficial wedding." She's a case, but it's a different.
Well,
story.
I
love
feel
you,
like
Mom.
it's just the difference. I feel like it's just the difference in opinion, like when it comes to marriage between
Well-
like the generations. You know,
Sure.
It's
If I-
like,
Well, I think it's because as your parents, you don't want to miss their child's wedding.
yeah,
That-
no, for sure.
I
Yeah.
think that was probably a big thing. And she was like, "You wouldn't invite me to your wedding," and I was like, "It wasn't an official wedding." But
I'll also throw this in there too because I remember seeing this video and it was so enlightening to me. Was like, when you get married, a lot of people think, oh, it's just a piece of paper. You're just
Yeah.
like legally binding. No. Like you are.
That's a commitment.
No, you are legally binding your full identity.
Yeah. To
into another person. Like
Yeah.
this
To
is not
become
like
one.
Yeah, this is not like, oh yeah, we just get married and on paper and our taxes are no. Like it is a like binding commit and the time and effort and work to separate that if you decide to like divorce and end the union is a lot of
It is a lot of fucking work. Yeah.
And money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
for that to be like soul binding, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mom's
The
been,
divorce rate's like 50%.
My mom's been
so-
divorced twice, and it's always a lot of fucking paperwork.
I feel like a lot of people who get divorced too, and this is I don't know if it's accurate, but it's because getting married young and not truly realizing like what I want, who I want to be with, who I am as a person, and then people grow and change as they get older. You know.
Or not witnessing struggles,
Yes.
throughout that like young, early
That-
portion of the relationship.
That very same video that I saw, and I'll share it to you guys at a later point in time. But it even says like you want to marry the person who you can struggle with, who you've been through some shit with, because
Yeah.
you can have good times with anybody, but can you, for example, you're dating, you're together, one of your parents die. What are you gonna do? Like, are you gonna go with them to stay at their family's home across the country? What if one of you gets an amazing job opportunity
Would
across
you
the
move?
country? Would you move?
Yeah.
Like, and these are the real questions. Like, those are the true, real questions and struggles of like, is this someone that I'm ride or die stick with, regardless of any struggle that we might go through? Like,
Yeah.
stupid fights about dishes is not what we're talking about
Yeah.
here. It's like genuine, like real life shit. Like if your partner gets a drug problem, like are you gonna be there? Are you gonna help them through rehab, etc.?
I feel like any couple should be together for like 6 to 7 years before they get married.
7
That's
years
my
is
opinion.
is
I agree.
the mark.
That's
my
what I've heard
opinion.
too.
Yeah.
Because
I think I agree.
Because in
Yeah.
a way, like how your body changes, I think you get new. Like,
yeah.
you get
You're-
like new cells or whatever
every
every
7
7
years,
years. So if
every-
your relationship hits that 7 year mark and you work out, then yeah. But then there are obviously people who hit 7 years and then they break up. So
Yeah.
it's like I think it just depends
That's
on the
true, too.
person. Yeah,
Yeah.
So it just depends on the person.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like generally speaking, I mean, obviously there's always going to be special cases. You know, there's always going to be people who got married early. We have friends that we talk about all the time, our friends Jesse and Dustin, who literally got married, 3 months into their relationship, and they are 1 month? How long was it?
1 year. They got engaged.
1 year.
They got
They got
engaged
engaged
3
1
months.
year in,
No,
but-
no. They got married 1 year in.
Oh, got married
they
1
got
year in.
engaged 3 months in.
Okay, so they got engaged 3 months in, they got
But-
married 1 year in.
They're a special case.
They
You
are
have-
a special case.
because they did elope due to the fact that her family is Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yeah.
So
Whoa.
that's a whole other thing that we should
Whoa.
Probably not talking about
yeah, like, not unless we do our research. But,
but
super long story short, it was one of those like, they had no choice.
Yeah.
They had no choice, so they eloped if they wanted to be together.
Damn.
yeah, but I feel like generally speaking though, at about 7 years, you've pretty much been through most struggles with each other. You know exactly like you'll know by then. In my opinion, I feel like you'll know by then if this is someone you want to
Yeah.
continue, living your life with.
I agree.
And if you're still in the relationship, but you're not content with it, then I feel like that is a signal that, probably you might find better luck with someone else.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like older people, like a lot older people, that time frame probably lessens because they have a better grip on exactly what they want.
Yep.
And they can detect it a lot earlier.
As in, like finding, like if you're older, finding
Yeah,
someone.
I feel like the older you get, the less you care about hiding who you really are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, because a lot of people, that when they're young, we try to present our best
We
selves.
mask.
Well,
true.
okay.
Yeah, we
Well,
mask
not only
and-
that, it's just like, especially with the rise of like social media, you're hyper aware of everything.
Yeah.
And it's like back then when you're dating, it's like, oh, if like we get along, we get along. But now, like since social media is there, you see multiple competition of like expectations of what you want in a partner.
Yeah, and you have access to a lot more. And so I feel like there are these like unrealistic expectations that get, projected nowadays onto people. So it does make it harder, but it also in a way, in a counter like productive way, makes it easier too, like
Yeah.
for people to like meet more people. So I don't know, it's just odd like comparing that to how things used to be. But I feel like the reason why the divorce rate is so high for like the older generations is because they didn't have that access. They didn't have the ability to
Yeah.
connect with someone across the country and talk with them and get to know them.
But then at the same time, although the divorce rates are more higher for the older generation, it is difficult for the younger generation to find a partner.
Yeah.
yeah, well,
So
I
it's
think
like-
it's that's
Too many
the
options.
expectation.
Yeah.
Too
So
many
it's like-
options, and then the expectations are significantly higher as well. So there is that like weird like extremity in both directions, but we just got to find that middle
Yeah.
ground. You gotta be willing to stick with them through some shit, but then at the same time you got to know your boundaries too.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you
Yeah.
guys like dating apps?
So
No.
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 Okay, cool. We're all in agreement then.
Yeah. I think dating apps are pretty pointless. I feel like
I mean, you do you, but
yeah, that's just my
personally,
opinion. That's my opinion. I know there are plenty of people. I mean, literally, Keenan and Gina.
I know
met
people.
on
I've known
Tinder.
people who.
No,
yeah,
Hinge.
yeah.
Hinge, not Tinder.
Yeah.
I know people who are in together couples relationships when they met online. But like personally for me, I can't do it. I think it's just like I overthink and
I need that human experience.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
That
yes,
human
yes.
Yeah.
experience and connection.
I feel like generally speaking, you're gonna have a much better like experience doing that versus just seeing someone through an app on your screen. You know what I mean?
It's hard.
Yeah.
So,
But that being said, I would probably not get married at EDC.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not.
I might do
Vegas.
it. I might do it like after I get officially married. You
Yeah.
know, just for fun,
Maybe.
just for like shits and
I
giggles.
think
it'd be
I would,
fun.
maybe. Maybe.
I do. What I do want to do. I want to get licensed as a
Officiant.
officiant here in Vegas.
I heard
Wait,
it's
hold on.
really.
I'm so sorry.
I heard it's really easy to become an officiant.
Hi, Mom. I'm on shooting my podcast right now. See, look.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
See, look.
Say hi to Nand's mom.
So we're actually in Vegas and we're shooting a podcast right now.
Okay,นึกว่าแนนไปไอ้นั่นแล้วลูก
I am. That's what I'm doing.
อ๋ออยู่ที่เวกัสแล้วเหรอ
Yeah, I'm in Vegas right now.
Speak Thai.
I feel so nosy.
Speak Thai.
but at the
Speak
same
Thai
time,
on
I'm
camera.
like,
Love you, Mom.
Speak Thai.
Bye bye.
you didn't speak Thai.
Bruh,
What happened?
we wanted to hear the Thai.
I did. I said I love you.
You said I love
not
you in
Thai.
English.
In Thai, you say love you.
That's not. I don't think so.
Anyways, moving on.
But yeah, I agree. I would to finish my thoughts. Sorry, my mom cut me off, but I would love to be a officiant, and then I don't know. I think that'd be really fun to like marry people as the rave dad.
That'd be actually really cute.
Be really sweet.
That'd be really cute.
Connecting people one at a time.
A new look on Rave Dad. You have to know how to marry
Ray
people.
father.
Rave Father.
That makes so much sense.
So I've been to EDC 5 times, and now that we're at EDC again, do you guys remember your first time at EDC?
Yes.
Like it was yesterday.
Yes.
Mine
this
actually-
This
our-
is actually also my 5th EDC.
Yeah.
Oh,
you
this
guys
is your
are old.
fifth.
This is my 5th.
My
This
first
is my
one.
fourth.
Mm-hmm.
So
Wait.
Because I went to one before you.
Yeah,
and that's
you
it.
did.
This is my third.
Third
Yeah.
EDC. Oh, and specific EDC Vegas.
Yes.
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 Okay. If it was
Yeah.
if we were counting Orlando, then fourth. Sure.
Yeah.
But
This, mine would be
Yeah.
sixth. Then.
Yeah.
My first EDC was 2017. I was broke college student, had no money. I still wanted to go, so we only got a ticket for one day because Martin Garrix was playing, and that was the time where I was like really, really obsessed with Martin Garrix. I still am, but and we were just like, you know what, fuck it. We barely have any money. I could just pay
Fuck
for
it, we
one.
ball.
Yeah, exactly. I could just pay for one day. One of my friends lives here in Vegas. We'll just stay with him, and yeah, that was the first time I went to EDC.
So you went. So you went one day. Mm-hmm. Nice.
For me, it was 2019. 2019, I was bartending, I think, and I remember just pulling out my phone and like, fuck it, I just bought a ticket. Literally, I really wanted to go, and I ended up going with, I mean, they're not my friends anymore, but people. Actually, I don't think technically they were ever my friends. Anyway,
Whoa.
no, it's a weird statement. But long story short, I was seeing somebody at the time. I was seeing
Acquaintances.
No, I was seeing somebody at the time, and they was
It's their
all
group.
her friends.
Yeah, it was their group.
Mutuals.
Yeah, it was all her mutuals, and then like I was essentially tagging along with her group.
Yeah, yeah.
And I just remember it was like, it was not my best experience. I will be completely honest, because I don't know, it just felt like I wasn't really with my people or my friends, and I wasn't, you know, because
Yeah.
I wasn't. And that's actually when I learned, like, you know, a festival and raves and a lot of this, it can be make it or break it based on who you go with.
I agree.
100,000%.
That's valid.
Yeah, I'm gonna make this statement right here. It's not the festival itself that's fun. I think it's the group that you go with. Yeah.
I think
the experience that you make and you create for yourself, and also the people who are with you create also.
I had planned everything my first EDC super last minute. It was right after Beyond, and I wasn't even planning to go. And then everyone was like, "Oh, we're going to EDC," and I got the biggest FOMO, so I went ahead and just bought tickets. I don't think I stayed with the right people. I also don't think that I had the best experience for partial of day one and most of day two. But regardless, it was an experience that I'll never forget.
Oh, same.
You know, it was, but
The fireworks from my first EDC have not ever matched ever since. Like I've seen them over and over every year, and they have not met up to that first fireworks experience.
well, here's what
Interesting.
sucks, right? Is my first year at EDC, I didn't experience any of the fireworks shows.
Why?
Long story short, day one, I had gotten lost at one point, and I was gonna go buy merch because it was freezing.
What year was this?
What year was it?
2021. No, 2022.
Okay.
First House of Player meetup thing
Ah.
for EDC. I was at the merch stand because it was freezing cold. Missed the fireworks show because it was. Day two, I was all alone for a certain reason, which I won't talk about, but also missed the fireworks show because I was just not feeling it. Day three, I don't know where I was. but I
Who went?
also remember missing the fireworks show.
Damn.
So all of my fireworks were at 2023's EDC, which I thought were beautiful. But
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
this year's gonna be different. We're gonna experience.
I am so excited for this
Yeah.
year's EDC.
I'm really excited, and I've said this repeatedly now. I feel like I've earned this EDC. I really have, because I know that first 2019 one, yeah, I paid for it, but I was a bartender who probably shouldn't have. I definitely was.
Oh,
did
I
not
shouldn't
have that
have
kind of
gone for
money.
my first time either.
I way too much money than I should have spent, but that happened, and then 2021, same thing. Paid for it, shouldn't have, and then 2022 and 2023, it was gifted to me by a friend, and that was great. But this is the first year where like I've worked really hard, you know, earned my way into it by like meeting the right people, doing what I do for our community, and like I mean I still took care of my ticket and everything, but still like it just I feel like I earned it to be here and enjoy this.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I want to actually take a quick second to shout out Nand, because Nand did pretty much put most of this together. The whole reason we're here right now
is
and
because of
everything
Nand.
is because Nand was able to put this a lot of this together and set this up with One and Only for us. So we appreciate you.
Thanks,
love you,
Dad.
man.
Thank you.
Yeah. My first EDC was 2021. It was the EDC right after quarantine and everything just opened up again. I went with Nand and then our friends Jesse and Dustin, and they actually split the cost to get me there, because
Yeah.
I didn't want to pay for a ticket because I hadn't experienced EDC yet, so I didn't know what the hype was all about, and so
I remember that.
I was kind of just like, I don't need to go, and they were like, no, you need to go.
I really
And I'm
wanted you to
like,
go, 'cause
okay, I
it was
will
Jesse.
go.
Jesse and Dustin paid for half, and I paid for half. I remember this.
Yeah, Nand actually, he paid for half. Wow, you like pretty much got me back into raving. Now that I think about it, because Beyond and then EDC.
Yeah.
Wow,
Wow.
that's so funny.
It's never gonna stop.
You
Yeah.
guys should kiss.
Get married at EDC.
We already do. So
Wait,
Anyways,
no,
that's-
they have the best friend weddings at EDC. You guys should do it.
Oh yeah, there
Oh
we
my
go.
God, please.
You guys
but
should do
I'll
it.
record it.
Okay. I will say though, that EDC was so special to me, not only because it was my first EDC, but because it was the first EDC like back from quarantine. There was like half the amount of people there.
Yeah.
So there was space, there was like you could move around, like it wasn't too crowded, and this was also before we were like really shooting content at all the festivals. So we truly went like purely to enjoy it.
And-
like purely to just go and have fun.
And it was in October.
And it was in October.
So the weather was.
So the weather
Have
was
you-
really good.
Have you guys been to EDC in June?
No.
No.
You guys missed out. Holy
EDC
crap.
used to be in June.
Yeah. So before,
I feel like that would just be hot as fuck.
It was hot as fuck.
Wait, then we.
That's not what I want.
My first EDC in 2017, it was hot as
Wait,
fuck.
but why?
Wait, what are we missing out?
Yeah,
then?
what are we missing out on?
Because when 2019 hit, the winds, it was so cold. You can't enjoy the night. And
Okay.
it was so windy.
That's valid.
Because when they started, when
I'm
they
confused.
moved EDC from June to May, it got really cold and windy at night. Because
Okay.
back in June, it was hot.
like
but
full-blown
there's- yeah,
summer.
but there's there's no wind.
2019 was pretty bad. I do remember
2019
that.
was really fucking bad.
everyone.
dude.
Everyone was like
Like I did
freezing.
Yeah, I did not expect
wow.
that. Literally day 3 for EDC 2019, I went in sweats because I was just like done.
Yeah, it's probably why they moved it.
Yeah.
And that's why I had sweats and joggers underneath shorts, and that was my outfit. And they were
Oh, yeah.
so ugly.
Iconic Nan fit.
So speaking of love and getting married at EDC, is e-love real love?
No. I mean, it's not even. Actually. Okay, hold on.
Why?
Okay, I think.
Let's dive into the psychology.
I think e-love kind of just exists as more of like a more dynamic feeling to like what you're actually feeling. Like it's not. It's almost like boosting up what you're actually feeling to like
In that
11.
moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that in a way could be dangerous. It's like it's not really what you're feeling, but it kind of is.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think
love.
Baby,
don't hurt me. Don't hurt me.
no more.
Bad.
I think e-love is real love. However,
However.
and as Daniel said, it is like taking how you're feeling in this moment and dialing it to like an 11.
Yeah.
However, that feeling of love is still love. It's just that doesn't mean you're compatible with this person. That doesn't mean there's there's like any substance underneath it. That feeling of love is still a feeling that you're having, and it is being produced due to a chemical in your body.
But I just want to ask, is it love though, or is it infatuation?
I would argue that it's infatuation.
It could be heightened infatuation.
Yeah.
But what if because you're like in love within that moment? No. It's like you love this moment so much. Is it technically love?
Oh, I see what you're saying. That moment that you're having with this person.
Yeah.
Just taking it to a different level, a different surface. I think I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's like that's that starting moment you have with that person.
Yeah, sure. But okay, in that sense, then we're talking like romantical e-love. You know, someone that you meet with, someone you meet at a rave. You guys are both.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah. Which,
Yeah.
by the way, make sure you are always testing your stuff and overdose.
And overdose at the booth. Come on.
Okay.
Get your Narcan.
Yes.
People who have, gone to raves and experienced this, we are basing this off of experiences. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Anyways,
lost my
continue.
train of thought. I am so sorry.
Have you guys experienced e-love?
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure.
And it was heartbreaking afterwards.
Oh.
It was almost okay. So I guess that's where you could say, like, is it real love or is it not? The infatuation was so strong that it lingered into feeling like real feelings. But at the end of the day, I didn't know this person. I had no idea who this woman was, even though we shared a very, what's the word?
Intimate
like moment
Yeah,
together.
I want to talk about like maybe the like chemistry behind that, because obviously when you are on a substance, right, you are experiencing like a chemical difference in your body, right? That is, unleashing all of the serotonin in your body. So my thought process is that then you're with someone, right? And you are showing them affection, and you're basically just like letting that kind of, you're just unleashing it without any like boundaries on it, like we would normally do in regular society. You're unleashing it, and then you are associating that feeling with that person, right? So there is that feeling. I think that's where a lot of people get like confused, right? Is because like do you love them, or are you just infatuated, or are you bent on the feeling that you got when you were with them? You know what I mean?
I kind of want to take it to another level then.
Okay.
So I know we're using the term e-love, and obviously that feeling that people have had when they're on E, it gives them what they think is love. But I mean, as we all know, love is unconditional. Love is loving another person and caring for them despite, this or that. Like, love is love. And it's about taking care of the other. That's usually what love is about.
Yeah.
That being said, e-love is very much me, and how I'm feeling about you in this moment.
It's a very good way to put it.
Whoa. Okay.
So again, a very heightened infatuation. It's not real love.
So
At the end of the day.
That answers
does it?
It can lead to real love.
That's true.
It
But
can lead to real love.
Totally.
does it feel like a heartbreak when that feeling is gone and you're not with that person anymore?
I mean, that could just be the come down, but yeah, but yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I feel like this is kind of where the logical side of your brain comes in, because I feel like if you are new to that experience, new to that feeling, and you've never really gone through it before, of course you're going to feel more of an attachment to the experience of being in e-love, right? So you probably will feel that heartbreak a lot more than someone who's a little more seasoned, who is going to be like, okay, well, obviously I know that I'm in a heightened state of emotion right now, like I'll think of like an example, right? Decadence. I was not sober. And I was with Michelle. Michelle and I were not officially together yet, right? And I felt compelled to say, I love you for the first time. But it was like, I knew that I was under, it was partly due to that feeling.
Do you feel like you're under a spell, kind of?
A little bit. I think a little bit, yeah. And so I know that feeling exists. It's a little bit different in this case because obviously Michelle and I had been like, seeing each other for a while, but I know that like that feeling almost kind of and that just the words themselves, like they kind of lose a little bit of their glamour and the actual meaning behind them because you're in that heightened state, right? And so I feel like the true meaning comes from when you're not in that heightened state. And so I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like when you are a little more seasoned, you are aware of those things. So you know that like when you feel that way, you're like, okay, maybe I decide to entertain this feeling. Maybe I decide to, go ahead and go with this person or enjoy the night with this person. But I know that afterwards, I'll see how I really feel about them.
I would like to add on that because that's exactly how me and Jackie kind of got together. Was at Beyond, we confessed our feelings, but obviously under an influence.
Yeah.
We had gotten back home and it was almost like it was pillow talk, but I asked her to be my girlfriend and she agreed and said yes. A couple of days later, we're like, yeah, I don't think this was actually a good idea. I think we rushed it a little bit. Let's actually take
Get
it
to
as
know each
friends.
other a little more. Yeah.
Yeah, we've been together ever since. Yeah, so it's been great.
Taking it to another level again because I like to. Love and relationships is all about connection, human connection, feeling safe and comfortable and connected to another person. And what it can sometimes do if people are partaking is it allows you to step past those guards and those boundaries and really connect with another human being. Obviously, after things have passed and the e-love has passed in your mind, can you still feel connected and comfortable and safe with that person? Some people, they can communicate like, hey, I would never feel safe with you in a normal circumstance. Or they learn, hey, wait, you're someone I would love to try to, break those barriers and break those boundaries and connect with on another level yet again without the use of enhancements.
Yeah. Yeah. Enhancements.
Yeah.
My issue sometimes with love is that like there's different types of love, right? But at the same time, it's like, how do you explain it? Like, you can't really explain real love.
What is love?
What is love?
Baby, don't hurt me.
Yeah, it's like you could love anything. So, but what is the difference between love with a partner?
I think the difference.
Trust.
But you could trust friends.
Yeah.
I love my friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Wait, so what are you asking is the difference right now?
Yeah, what is the difference between love with a partner than love with a friend? If they're technically the same thing, you just tolerate your partner more than your friends.
I don't think there is a difference. I actually don't. I think the feeling of love you have for your partners, your friends, everybody, it is pretty much the same.
Yes.
It's just who you choose to spend your time with.
Yeah.
How you choose to. For example, my mother, I love her with all my heart. I don't want to do relationship-y things or friendship-y things with my mother. That's just not what I want.
It's kind of weird too.
And it's weird. It's weird.
Yeah.
To answer your question, Mickie, I think all love is pretty much the same. To finalize on that thought, it's just how we choose to.
Yo, is this the I'm Peaking podcast?
Did someone lose a wook?
You guys mind if I do
Was
this?
that?
Hey, nice
What's-
of you to show up.
I
Is
heard,
that what sound was in the ventilation?
I heard you guys were awfully wookless over
Yeah.
here.
So we needed the effect.
I'm here to represent my
Where have you
community.
been?
Yeah, where'd you go?
He's been editing videos.
No, I don't do that. I just.
I didn't ask you. Where's the wook? Where's the wook been?
I materialize when the time is right. So.
Did you want to add a thought to E-Love?
What's the question?
We're talking about what is love.
No. Don't go that far.
That's profound.
No, I'm just
I
kidding.
did the-
Is E-Love real love?
Oh yeah, that's
Is
the main
love
question.
real love? Well, then you got to talk about what love
need wook
is,
wisdom.
right? So that kind of goes to that already.
Yes.
We kind of answered that a little bit.
It's like an honest answer, I think, is like lust is different than love, right?
Yes.
In a way, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. So I think just pumping a bunch of chemicals into your brain, like the good ones, is going to overload your brain with a bunch of positive emotions. But I think the term love, like when we describe that, is about like, do you care for somebody? You know, like,
Yeah.
are you there for somebody when
Do you
they
want
need
what's
you to
best
be?
for them?
Are you exactly? Well, that's actually a really good way of putting that because it's like, do you want the best for them regardless of what you want?
The statement I put earlier is like love is about the other, not about you.
Yeah, well, exactly. It's about like what you give to the other person, not in like a physical sense, but just in like a spiritual, I guess, emotional sense. And when we talk about e-love, I just think about like you're just trying to party. And to me, that's
It's about your own feelings and
it's
enjoying
just
your
like
time.
You're
in
like,
this
I
place.
feel so good, and like,
In a way,
you're
it's-
so pretty. Like, I
Yeah,
don't know,
it's kind of
just-
selfish in a way, actually.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go that far.
Well, I mean,
Selfish is
selfish
not a
has a
strong
bad
word.
connotation, but I would say that it is an innately selfish
Well,
like
both-
feeling.
If
You know,
both people are into it, though, it's not really like one person being
That's
selfish
true. Yeah,
over
that's
another.
true.
In that
It's
case,
like-
it wouldn't
yeah.
be selfish.
right. It's just like
Yeah.
it's an agreement, I guess.
Yeah.
Between other people.
It's like a contract. Here,
that's
you
like-
sign here.
That's something you really can't
well,
avoid.
sometimes it's not though.
Ah.
Sometimes people want it to go longer than the other, you know, and then there's feelings tied up after. So
Well, that's just everyday life. That doesn't. That even
That is
happens.
true.
That
That's
just happens in
true.
real life. Like
That's
you
not
want to
even
hang out with
just
somebody,
elo,
they
that's
don't want
just-
to hang out with you. You know.
That's just
It
love.
sucks, man. But you know,
Tough shit.
that's how it goes,
Tough
bro.
shit.
You know, sometimes you got to deal with that.
Yeah.
So I'd say like the answer to answer your question, no. Like,
Okay.
It's not real love in the way that we describe it. It's just like a kind of love, I guess. It's like a type. What do you like, man? Like, is this the world, man? There's a lot of stuff out here. And if you like love and that's your favorite kind, then all the power to you. You know, just make sure you're not being weird.
I would recommend that's not your favorite kind, though.
That's
you know?
not what your favorite-
I would,
That
I would
should not be
recommend
your
that
favorite
not be your
kind.
favorite kind.
The
No,
other
no.
kind is more fulfilling. That's the thing, because
Yeah.
like exactly what you guys immediately said, which is like the love lasts like not
Yeah.
very long.
It's fleeting.
So yeah,
It's
you
like
want
a 4-hour love.
right, exactly 4 hours.
4 hour
It's a
love.
4-hour
It sounds
love.
like a pill.
It has-
like, you know,
4
those,
hours,
like
bro.
With like
It
a
has a
5 hour
deadline.
2 to 3 day
4-hour
heartbreak.
love.
Yeah, 2 to 3 day heartbreak, and then you think about them maybe like once a
Also,
year.
one thing I found at like festivals and stuff like that is we're all there and we all get along because we're all into the music, right?
Yeah.
But outside of this place, the person that you fell in love with because you guys both like the same set or the same song or whatever, as soon as you get outside of whatever festival area
different
you're
person.
in,
Yep.
you have no idea what they're into.
Yeah.
That
you
is
have no idea what they
Yeah.
so
like.
valid.
Completely different person, bro.
Every person that I've had like potential love with has been how do I put it? After the festival, I check to see if the vibe check is still there. Are we like still vibing? But I don't.
How
I
many
don't.
times have you done this, Nan?
Wait. You
How many
get their
times you
numbers?
done
No, listen, no, I don't. Actually, I don't.
He's like, all right, look, I got
No,
this.
listen, please. So generally speaking, if there's no vibe here at the festival anyway, if it wasn't supposed to like vibe out past the festival, then it won't. And when it does, just friends vibing, and then I let things go. I'm not trying to force that feeling I had of love again because
Yeah.
that was at the festival, that was there. But if I end up becoming friends with someone, great. And then if the vibe just continue to go on, then it's like, cool. We can now test and see if this is a meant to be friendship or a meant to be potential partner in the future. Who fucking knows? But it's like
You're saying you're not letting it be like the tell of whether or not you want to stay with
If
somebody, but
anything-
you do give it a chance.
yeah.
Because obviously there was a spark to begin with.
Yes. If anything, all it is a spark or a catalyst to
Sure.
start a relationship of some sort, friendship or romantic, purely because otherwise it would have never happened.
Also,
it's like
this-
someone bumping into each other and say, oh, you like this book? I like this book too. You know, like it doesn't matter.
Well, also, Nand, like if we've talked about, none of us have had this experience, right? But at EDC, there is a chapel where you can get married, right? And we hear constant stories about how people either get married at EDC or have met at EDC and then they decide to get married later. So like, does that constitute love? Was that love at the beginning and then they got married? So maybe it's just our perspective that we don't know, man. We haven't seen that. We haven't experienced that. We haven't gotten married to somebody that we met at EDC yet. You know what I mean? So maybe we just haven't lived through that. Maybe it is real.
You are
Maybe.
so deep, dude.
So way
yeah.
too deep.
The woke
sometimes,
wisdom.
bro. Way
It
too
really
deep.
is the woke wisdom,
Woke wisdom.
Yeah, man.
So, like, after the whole love experience, do you guys exchange contacts? And then who texts first?
Okay.
Now it's going
Mickey's
to...
asking the real questions
This is what
here.
we really
Like,
need to get
honestly,
down
if we're trying to bring this back to like a reality check, like, would you ask for their contact and then like, would you text them first?
Why is it so
or-
professional? Why are we asking for their contact?
to. No, I
because
mean,
it's like, do you want to
I'm
like,
just
Yeah,
playing
do you want to
it,
keep in touch?
Yeah, I
I'm
asked
just
for
playing it,
email
like-
addresses.
Email
Yeah.
address, AOLs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
AOLs.
Yeah,
AOLs.
that's-
LinkedIn's too.
LinkedIn. Yeah.
I have a pretty safe answer.
What?
I want to hear it.
I don't like asking for other people's like phone numbers or information or any of that. So instead, I offer it. If I really want to connect with this person again, I will offer it, and then now it's up to them if they want to reach back out.
So
Because
you wouldn't reach out. You want them to reach out first.
me offering my contact information already is me saying I would like to talk to you again.
Okay.
You know, so if they want to talk to me again, then they'll send it back. Because here's the thing, vibes also only work if both of you are feeling it.
I think instead of numbers, because I feel like numbers are a little bit too personal. Sorry. I would do maybe
Instagram?
like Instagram. Yeah. So I would do like an Instagram, like a
is a
DM me.
non-committal kind of thing, but it also
Yeah.
does set like I feel like it sets more of a false precedence with
I
like
agree.
depending on what your motive is.
I agree.
I think it sets like a false precedence of like, oh, you don't really want to meet up with this person, like you're down to keep in connection with them, but not
Watch each other's
not to
stories
the
and never
point. Yeah,
talk.
exactly,
Yeah,
right.
I know.
So
That's why I mentioned phone number, because
Yeah.
I'll be honest, very, very few times have I given my phone number to another person.
yeah.
But it does happen because it's like, I really do want to connect with you again,
I
and
may
we'll
have a-
actually connect.
I
But
don't know.
at the same time, it's a hard thing because like you don't, when you guys are both like coming down, you know, and you guys aren't on a substance anymore, you don't want to come across as like too, you know, you don't want to come across as too, not needy, but like too
Clingy?
much. You don't want to come across as too much. So
Yeah.
sometimes it is good to just kind of like leave the door a little bit open and just be like, hey, yeah, like, you know, grab my Instagram, like, and we'll keep in touch. And then you can kind of feel out how things go from there. But I mean, if you know for sure at the end of the
Again,
night,
that's why I offer my number. How can it be needy? I'm giving you the option of doing whatever you want with it.
I just feel like
No, that's a
numbers
good
are
way to
too
do it.
personal.
That's a good way to do it. The way it might,
But
this
that's the
might
thing.
be.
If you got vibes going, you want to get personal with this person.
Well, I feel
I'm gonna
like
be honest. This might be a hot take, and I don't mean to cut you off, Mickie, but like the idea of just having that interaction at a festival to me is really attractive. So like, I
agree.
I leave it there, bro. I just
okay.
like I just want like a mental like I see you, goodbye.
And
Okay.
there's never a time
see
where
you.
you want to push
Goodbye.
it further.
maybe
though.
it's like I'll just see you in another life.
I think it's one of those things where like it would really depend, but most of the time I would need like some sort of super extravagant, like wild experience that I've met with somebody that I've like really connected with, spent the whole weekend with, or something like that, for me to
Yeah.
really want that.
on
That
some
makes
like
sense.
on
Do
some
anything.
sunflower raver shit, you know, her and Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you like meet the person at like a camp pre-party whatever, and then you end up spending that night and then the next night, and then like you're there in the morning and nobody's taking anything in the morning and you're having fun, you're having a good time, like
Yeah.
then it makes sense. But I think a one night thing where everybody's just out basically at a club,
I
you know,
agree.
like
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
at a club, like what do you expect you're gonna find there? Something super wholesome
yeah.
and full? Probably not.
Yeah, and it's definitely something that you gotta like read the vibes. You know,
Read the vibes.
I've definitely
but what
had
if
some of those
you're
moments where,
discombobulated and you can't read the vibes?
well, you know, I
then
mean,
that's
a different
maybe
story.
don't
it's,
be looking
it's
for
reading the
them, then.
vibes after the fact, I think. So like, for example, like there was this one girl that I went to college with who I ended up kind of like, I guess, rave baying at our first EDC that we went to in 2021. And this was a girl that I always like found attractive, and I like, you know, like I was down to like see if it was plausible. But you know, after EDC weekend, we like tried to maybe organize some things together. She was like from San Diego. I was living in LA, and she like had said, oh yeah, like maybe I'll come visit you or whatever. None of them ever happened.
Yeah.
I ended up seeing her like maybe one more time.
Yeah.
And then I pretty much never heard from her again. So it's like, you have to kind of just like read and see like how the direction it's going and be able to kind of make a, you know, educated
Gotcha.
decision there.
That's the thing though, is the distance is a big thing. Like it's like you're coming from all over the place to these
Yeah.
festivals and to these raves and stuff. It's like you meet anybody that could be from anywhere, and that's
Yeah.
obviously going to put like a kind of
It's
a wall.
kind of scary. Imagine like falling in love with someone and then they're like, oh, just kidding. I was like visiting the country for like the weekend.
But
Classic.
sometimes I
Classic.
think you just have to ask yourself, like, why am I so attracted to this person? What are you laughing about?
Because that's so funny.
Why am
that.
I like so into this person right now? And then ask yourself the same question after. Sometimes it really just is an attraction thing, you know?
Okay.
Why am I into him?
Interesting.
It's like that ass.
It usually starts that way. I mean,
It's like, oh shit, that's as far as it goes.
No, but then
Maybe
you
not
know.
then.
Then you're
Yeah.
like, that's
when you
why.
know, you know. That is it.
I want to throw this in there too, because now that you mentioned like attractiveness and like, you know, that could be a layer to it. I feel like that's why meeting someone for me anyway, I think there's something so attractive about meeting someone at a festival, because we are at our, you know,
It's a big part of your life.
yeah, well, yes, and it's also like, this is where I can see someone be their true, full, expressional,
That's a good point.
like passionate, energetic self.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's like, they're not masking. It's not like at work when people are masking and they have their customer service voice. Like no, like it's
I love that.
Yeah.
it's like this could be their real self.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, it's a little bit easier to read the vibes when you're at a place like this, like at festivals.
I was
Gotcha.
talking about that earlier, Nand, actually in the room earlier, where like the idea that like one of the reasons that I like this community so much is that I feel like real life is so stressful all the time. Like, you know, you got to pay for car insurance, you got to pay your rent, which is absurd. You know, you
I
got
gotta
all these,
pay
all
for
these,
my medical insurance.
You have
soon.
all this stuff that you're constantly struggling, like worrying about, and just constantly like fighting for because other people tell you to worry about that. Like you didn't decide that you wanted to worry about it. Other people told you to. But then as soon as you get into something like a festival or a rave, it just becomes about like being a human.
Yeah.
Like people come up to you and like they play with you either with fancy
primitive.
outfits or like somebody came up to me. I think I've said this before on the podcast, but somebody came up to me with a marionette puppet.
Yeah,
like I'll
that's
always
cool.
remember dancing with that puppet just because they were just playing around, man. And it's like you bring up a good point where it's when you see somebody at a festival, if as long as they're doing it right, and usually if you vibe with them, they are doing it right. They're just like they feel free to be themselves.
Yeah.
And so you're
Everyone
getting a
is-
better window into who they are.
Everyone's in more of
And-
like that primal state, and we're not like worrying so much about how we need to be in like regular society.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I gotta say too,
man,
there's just
you know?
there's I gotta say too, there's just something so attractive about someone being so free.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
freedom, man.
100%.
Fly free, soar high,
Freedom.
man.
And then
Yeah.
you reach out first, and then they ghost you.
And then just they
That's a
disappear.
big womp
You turn
womp.
around,
I will
they're
say-
gone.
Yeah.
Womp
That's a
me.
big womp womp.
It is a womp womp.
That's a really
But
big
we're still
womp
dating.
womp.
Just the last thing I
Uh-huh.
will say, I remember the first time I ever did like a substance. And I remember one of my friends, I saw him during the festival, and it was one of those things where he was like with a girl, and he's like, dude, you got to find a girl. You got to find a girl. And it was like, it was almost like just that was
Ew.
an experience. I mean, yeah, it was ew. But it was like, that was like being described as like an experience in itself, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like it was a ride.
Like
at
it was
the-
like, yeah,
an
it was a
attraction.
ride. Like it was a
Yeah.
roller coaster. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
What?
Not I know it sounds icky, but it's like
Well,
it
it
is
is.
in a,
It
in a
is.
way like its own experience. And so I think if you look at it as this is an experience and there's not any like, I mean, obviously you might have more feelings that you might address later, but I think if you go into it not expecting too much, not expecting like, hey, this is going to turn into something big, this is an experience that I should enjoy for now, I think that's a beautiful thing in itself, right?
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
The term I would use is allowing. Like going into a festival to allow yourself to experience whatever you're supposed to experience, feel whatever you're supposed to feel,
Yeah.
and then go from there. Like,
Don't forget a big part of this, and I think everybody knows this. Anybody that watches this podcast or any of us, like be in the moment, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like if you're in this moment with this person, and then you're constantly thinking like, what's our future look like? Like, are you really in the moment?
You're no longer
No,
present.
you're
You're
not.
right.
Like
Yeah.
that's the point. So
Yeah.
just
What do you-
stay central. You know.
What do you think about
Stay
people
central. Yeah,
who go to festivals with one thing in mind and is just to find a rave bay?
Then you're doing it wrong.
We've talked about this on Jimmy's episode. If you're going to raves to get a girl, you're doing it wrong, bro.
It's not a good place to do it. I mean, I guess
Yeah.
it makes sense.
also-
Everybody looks really good. But it's not a
Logistically,
good
it
place
also
to do
doesn't
it.
make sense either. Like it's
not the club,
It's
man.
not very. Yeah. I mean, even at the club,
Yeah,
it's
well,
not very possible too. Like it's
guess,
very low percentage. But like you're gonna have a much better chance like going in with people you already know and finding a rave bay
Have
within
fun
your
with your
group.
friends. Have fun
Yeah.
with the boys. Have fun
I
with the
think-
girls.
I
Yeah.
think instead of trying to find a rave bay, you could try to find a partner.
Or find yourself.
Yeah, I like that.
I think
like
if you
that.
set that
I like
precedent
that
for
a lot.
yourself, then you're missing out on a lot of other
100%.
feelings.
need to find
So that being said,
That is-
it's like maybe don't go to festivals to find a rave bay, but allowing
seen-
allowing yourself to maybe meet people at a festival is nothing. I
have
don't
you-
think there's anything wrong with that.
Have you seen
know?
those guys that like? So it's kind of going off of the dudes that are just there to like get a girl or whatever. Like the guys that will not dress up, right? They just show up in like the most, I guess, basic attire. I'll say, just like if they were going out on a regular night, and then they just kind of stand there with like a drink in their hand and just stand there. So it's like that's also not the way to do it.
I'm sorry. That's giving me like creepy vibes.
I thought you were about to say, and then they
So-
go film videos
Well,
of them
because,
trying
like-
to get girls. I'm like, you're just describing Jimmy.
No, not that.
Well, 'cause, like, no. I know what Grayson's saying, because like if you see those guys, they literally are just standing like this,
What I'm saying though,
and they're like watching
what I'm saying is like
like this. They're like girl.
Yeah, that's just a safety
girl
concern.
watching.
be a vibe. Like,
Yeah, don't be awkward.
Be cool. Have
Yeah.
fun. And that's
Dance.
when
Enjoy
you
yourself.
meet people. That's when you have those connections that you're looking for.
Yeah,
If
I
you
think-
go there just looking for them, then there's
Yeah.
nothing to connect to you. Like there's no connection there because
Yeah.
you're not vibing to the music. You're just standing there. You're not having a good time. It doesn't look like it anyway. Why
It's like,
would
What'd you
anybody
pay a
wanna talk to you?
ticket for?
I think a good term is just making connections. I think, and the type of connection you make is what distinguishes it, right? So like if you make a connection that is a little more on the romantic side, that is a
So be
romantic
it.
connection,
Yeah.
right? But you can also just make regular connections with other people. and
Here's
just
my
make
business
friends.
card. Here's my
Business
card.
connections.
Let's,
Yeah.
let's meet up.
Imagine meeting someone who's like, "Oh, here's my business card."
Bro, I got to tell you.
Yeah, that's kind of tight.
Yeah, right.
Pause. Somebody has shown me their LinkedIn before.
Yeah.
Someone has.
You know what?
I get business cards all the
Go
time.
go
actually.
go to
Yeah.
festivals with a business card.
Actually,
I actually used to do
last
that.
year. Last year at EDC, or my first
Not
year at
even
EDC, I got a business card that said like, "Oh my God, I'm so happy to be at EDC. I can't believe we're back." And it was like just this whole like long
that's
spiel.
cute.
But they came up to me. It was like, "Hey,
Here's
it's
my
like,
card."
Here's my card." Yeah, and it was just so. It was so.
Aw,
so
that's
funny.
cute.
cute. So that was the
That's
coolest
cute.
business card I ever got. I wish I brought it. But,
Yeah. So
That's super
tips: bring your business cards.
just make them say something nice.
I would say
Hand 'em out.
this really just bleeds into like going to festivals for the right reasons, you know? Like you should just be going to have fun, be free, go embrace the chaos. Like go and just be yourself and don't worry about like
Be your
finding
respectful self.
don't worry about
worry
finding a rave bay. Don't
about a
worry
thing.
about I need to see this person at this time, this person at this time, this person at
Just
this
go with
time.
the
You'll have
flow.
your general schedule of people you want to see, but like go with
If
the
you
flow.
go do
Like,
the stuff
it's-
you
it's
want
the
to do, your
experience.
rave bay will find you, man.
Yeah.
Like the rave
They
bay
will
will
be-
be
I
there.
like that.
You know
I
what
like
mean?
that.
Yeah.
And it
she'll
really
be there.
does. It really does happen that way.
Wow.
Totally.
Some wise words from the
Wow,
Wook.
man.
We love
Yeah.
that.
It's like, yeah.
Thanks for the Wook wisdom.
I just stand in the corner watching with a drink in my hand.
It is Levy wand.
Oh my god.
I just
Whacking
stand there,
people in the
I just stand
face.
there watching, looking around. Yeah, so if you guys see me doing that ever, that's what I'm doing.
Okay, at least have a
Yeah.
smile on your face.
Yeah, I do. I'm having a great time.
does.
We love that.
Yeah, it's
Butterfly
fun.
glasses.
Totally fun. Yeah, exactly. You can't really see what I'm looking. You know, I'm just staring. Yeah. Crazy eyes are hidden. Easily.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Anyway,
What's
Wow, that was a long
That was a long-
conversation of love. I love that.
I
We
still,
love
I
that.
still want to go back to that conversation about EDC and how we're here at EDC and
We
the
are
new
here.
structure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the new
They-
map
they-
structure.
also
they-
want to talk about all
I haven't even
the
seen
genres
it.
really shining this
I'm
year.
gonna look at the map.
Yeah. So
Let's talk about the map first, though.
yeah. So for EDC, they basically moved Wasteland and Bassbaedaniel, and they switched it with Neon Garden and shoot, what's the other one?
Cosmic Meadow.
No.
So to
Stereo
give
Blue?
Wasteland,
to give people kind of a visual, because I
Circuit
know
Grounds?
some. No.
Quantum Valley,
To give
Quantum Valley.
Trance.
to give
Let's go.
people kind of like an idea of the map. I mean, I'm sure Devin
We'll
will put
show
it
it
on
on
the screen.
screen.
But
I won't put it on
The
screen.
main-
Robert will put it on screen.
the main stages are north, south, east, and west, right? So Circuit Grounds was at the bottom, and the issue with Bassbaedaniel was it was on the right hand side and Circuit Grounds on the bottom. So their crowds would blend and
Yeah.
Yeah.
get stuck with
Yeah.
each other, right?
Mhm.
So they've now moved it to right next to Circuit Grounds, and the crowds are now both pushing out backwards.
Wasteland is pointing into Cosmic Meadow. That's sweet.
Yes.
All the normies get to listen to some crazy music.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love it. Let's
Wait,
go.
so
But then-
with that kind of, I mean, Bassbaed's still next to Circuit Ground, so it'll
Yeah.
blend anyway.
Same thing.
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. The crowd is going this.
Yeah, because the it was against the rides.
Yeah,
So the issue
it
is
won't
people-
it won't be like this way, like crossing. It'll be like this way, right?
Yeah,
Nah,
there'll
that's
be,
valid.
It'll be, like,
there'll be less
easier.
issues. Plus, let's be real. Circuit Grounds and Kinetic Field are the two main stages.
And Bassbaedaniel was like the third biggest stage.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the thing. Bassbaedaniel
Oh, no,
wasn't
fourth biggest
Bassbaedaniel
stage.
wasn't supposed to be a main stage, but it's getting main stage crowds now.
Yeah.
So they weren't expecting so many people to be building out of that.
Neon
And
Garden's gonna be
a lot
lit,
of people.
too.
That makes sense.
A, lo-
Yeah.
You're right.
a lot of people go from Kinetic to Circuit Grounds a lot, and that is the fastest route versus
Yeah.
going around. So what do you want to have in between those two stages where there's a lot of foot traffic? Stages that have little crowds or stages that have huge crowds? Probably the little ones. So Quantum
Yeah,
Valley
'cause
and Trance Music, they
You
have
could
smaller
never,
crowds.
That's
you could
true.
never
Underappreciated.
walk. Like the walkway from going to Kinetic Field to Circuit Grounds was a bitch.
Oh yeah, it was rough.
Yeah.
But now the walk from Bassbaedaniel to Kinetic Field is gonna be a bitch. So
Oh my God,
like
yeah.
2 miles.
I mean,
Ooh.
Bassbaedaniel has been growing and growing
Yeah.
exponentially each year.
I think it's also because drum and bass is also
Yes.
held at Bassbaedaniel.
Yes.
Because drum and bass is like the
Drum and
genre
bass
of the year.
representation. Let's go.
Yeah, like
I'm
obviously
excited.
it's been around for so many years, but like now it's like staking its claim.
Well, in
It's like
America.
in America.
Yeah, in America it is.
I would say it's American drum and bass though. Oh.
Well, some of it.
So
I mean,
I
we
like-
have some pretty classic people coming over
Oh
here
yeah,
now
like
playing.
Subfocus.
Yeah,
We got
but-
Wilkinson.
I'm
we
so
got
worship
excited for
artists.
Subfocus's set.
Yeah.
The worship artists.
Yeah, we
this
invite
week?
the UK
Worship
boys,
artists?
and
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
Isn't there like
totally
a back to
cool.
back to back to back?
I have no idea.
I think it's like a sunrise set.
It's the worship artists, and it's what five artists. It's Subfocus, Culture Shock,
Dimension.
Dimension.
Oh,
Is it
sweet.
1991? Wait,
no idea.
1991.
1991, and
Sweet.
I feel like
You
I'm
already
missing
said all
one.
four.
Oh, it's all four. Okay, and then I know Headaches is also playing.
That's
He's a big
cool,
one.
too.
It's a big drum and bass artist. I saw some other ones. K9 I think is on there. It's
yeah.
I'm so happy
It's
that
a
it's
it's a
getting
big year
that
for drum and bass for
representation.
sure.
I still remember Bass Pod 2 years ago, Subfocus, and we were with our friend Sony, and I just remember
2
dancing
years ago?
my heart out at that set. And it's just crazy that now it's going to be like, it's like almost on the mainstream, at least in terms
Totally.
of the EDM community.
Yeah.
Sorry, the whole time we were all going like this.
Yeah,
There's
there's
been sound checks outside, so.
Can't help but vibe,
Jump.
dude. Super
But
yeah.
it's really good to see drum and bass finally getting
It's
the love it
awesome.
deserve. And
In the States.
in the states, yes, in
yeah.
the states. And I'm really excited to see like just the I'm really excited to see the crowd, what's the word?
I feel like
What do you?
the turnout. There you go. I'm really excited to see the
Yeah, it's gonna
turnout
be hype.
at,
It's gonna be hype.
at Bass Pod for drum and
I
bass.
think
it's gonna be hype.
it's gonna be really crowded, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That I feel like in a way that's why it moved because they needed a bigger space.
Yeah.
Valid.
Yeah.
Also, good job, Insomniac, for putting Sarah Landry at one of the bigger stages.
I'm gonna give you a round of applause for
Props
that.
to- yeah, props
Good
to
job.
y'all.
Good job.
Thank you.
Took you a couple
Please
times.
don't
And-
put us through another Beyond
And
situation.
they
Yeah,
put
couple
her
took
they
you a
put her at my
try, too.
favorite stage too. So good job.
Which
that
is
stage is?
Circuit Grounds.
Circuit Grounds. Got it.
That's
I
a
haven't
cool
even looked at the
stage.
lineup.
That's a really
I'm
cool
really
stage.
excited to see that set. I'm sure it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any idea why? This is a really, really broad question, but now I'm curious.
Yes.
I personally, I love music, listen to a lot of it. Do you guys have any opinion on maybe why drum and bass is popping off right now, and whether or not there's any parallel? Because like when I started making content, it was all about that house music and that bass music being dubstep specifically. So like now, if we get drum and bass, is there an opposition, like something that's in house?
I think because house music is so popular, they still want that
yeah,
that
I love house
grooviness.
music,
that grooviness, but they want more bass.
yeah. Okay.
And
okay.
so in a way it's going harder and harder and then in a way I
Also
feel like
a lot faster.
exactly. And then because last year it was what the hardstyle and techno were like the most popular genres. Now it's like techno and drum and bass because they want a more
Wait,
of
last
that.
year techno. Wait, I thought house was really big last year.
I mean,
At
It was
EDC.
it was a
It
hard techno
it
year.
was just it was hardstyle techno.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think people just want more bass and more
people just
versatile.
want more bass,
I-
man. It
and
just leads to that.
and then it's just gonna go back in a circle. So then afterwards it's gonna be they want that dubstep, and then they want melodic bass, and then trance, and then it's just gonna go all back around again.
Back to trance.
I think. You had something to say.
I wanted to say I think American drum and bass was made to be a little bit more digestible.
Yes.
Because I did not like the grimy kind of obnoxious like I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all.
Okay.
It was not until
Yeah,
I started
Europeans.
enjoying American drum and bass where I was
Yeah.
like, okay, maybe I'll give it a shot.
And it's
then
thanks- yeah, it's-
continue
What is
to
it
like
about
it.
American drum and bass that you like more?
I just think
I think it feels more hype. You
Okay.
know,
Hype
it's
is a
more
good
high
word.
energy.
Can you give me more with that? Like
I like good melodies.
Okay.
Reaper's really good with
Reaper.
making
I
melodies.
think it's
stuff.
Reaper.
Got it,
Reaper
okay.
really
Or-
helped. Yeah.
I'm also into like Liquid D&B.
Yep.
Mm.
So-
that's
Yes,
great
yes,
stuff.
yes,
That's
yes.
That's
But I've been a melodic head anyway, so
Right.
it's
I
like it
think-
kind of just
Do you
played
like
into
melodic
that.
dubstep usually?
I do like
Yeah,
melodic
okay.
I think
melodic
what-
That's where that
dubstep has a
comes
big place in my
Yeah,
heart.
Yeah,
I
that
think what
is,
also
yeah.
helped with drum and bass this year was Kenya Grace. Although she's not like I would say she's an EDM electronic music
totally.
artist, but she helped drum and bass get into mainstream. And I feel like that's what also helps people digest
You don't
drum
know
and
who
bass
that is.
I mean,
better.
That's who made Strangers.
Yeah.
Yes.
I wouldn't say she's like the main
No,
reason,
but she helped.
I mean, certainly I think she helped, but
I feel
because here's the thing, I feel like a lot of people who are listening to the radio, like who hear that, they're gonna hear it, but I don't know if they're necessarily gonna be like, oh, like what
That's
is this
drum
type
and
of
bass,
music?
yeah.
Yeah, or well, this is drum and bass. They're gonna just be like, oh, I like that song.
Yeah.
And
And
genres
then,
are made up anyway. So
yeah,
it's true.
I mean, I think that people just want to dance more.
I agree.
I think people want to dance
so.
more.
I
Yeah.
hope so.
Yeah, we were talking about this in the
Yeah,
car
man.
ride. Like,
you know, if anyone's out there watching this and you guys aren't dancing, why not?
Why
Just
not?
let it
Why
go,
not?
man. Just let it go. Seriously, like it'll be so much more fun
just
for you.
dance, just move.
It'll be so much more. All that anxiety starts to fade away as soon as you
Yeah.
start going.
It's good cardio too.
You know, like that.
Expressing energy is just fun.
I got some tea for y'all.
Spill.
So a couple days ago, I was reading on Twitter about someone potentially bringing their baby to EDC because they wanted to camp and have fun, but not leave the baby at home.
Well, don't
No.
leave the baby at home. That's for
Well,
sure.
okay,
Like,
so-
don't leave the baby unattended.
okay, so
That's the
Can
first
you-
step.
Whoa,
Okay.
Wait,
really?
hold on. I need context. I need context.
A little bit of context. So
Okay.
this was in a Facebook group, and this was from an anonymous member. So this could have been a joke. I don't know. It didn't seem like it.
Okay.
But these people were asking if they had anyone going to Camp EDC that was willing to babysit their baby for $100 an hour so that they can go to the pool parties.
Somebody would
You're
totally
gonna leave
do
your
that.
baby with a stranger,
Somebody would totally.
You're
do
gonna
that.
bring your baby to a festival?
and then leave it with a stranger.
Well, there are some festivals that's
All
fine.
I'm saying is you can get a babysitter for $100 an hour.
So
Well, not only that, I don't
That's a
think
good
then
point, man.
if you
Like,
have
let's just
other
leave the kid home.
responsibilities like
Yeah.
another human being, please don't go to a festival.
Don't
So-
you have like parents, coworkers, like
here's-
anyone that you have a personal connection with that can do this?
And here's the thing, right? Is the reason as to why they wanted to bring the baby to the festival is because they didn't want to be like away from the baby for so long.
Okay, now
Wait.
okay, no.
And it's like
you can't. Yeah,
you can't have it both ways.
Yeah, you
Sorry.
have. There's got to be some sacrifice
Yeah,
here.
you
like,
need to have. Okay, in all honesty, if you are responsible for a little child, another human being, I think that should be your main focus because EDC will always be there. And if you know that you don't want to be away from that baby, be with that baby.
I'll
please.
be honest. The entire statement is me. I want to go to
Yes.
EDC.
Yeah.
I want to be close to my baby. Dude, the baby has needs. The baby can't be in a festival.
Do we-
Do
Do we know how old the baby is?
Let me check because I believe the baby was. I don't think they ever actually said anything about the age.
I've been to
But
certain
just that the
festivals.
baby obviously needed a babysitter.
Yeah, but either way, like that is a
And also-
child that
yeah.
can't take care of itself.
Yeah.
Like that's
I
kind
have
of.
been to some festivals where it's okay to have kids there.
Oh, Coachella.
You know?
Coachella.
Like
Coachella, you can-
OIB is the same way.
What
yeah.
do you guys think about all age festivals then?
Yeah. I
Because
think it's cool. I think it keeps people in check, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, like it's
I will
hard.
say, I
it's a little
did
harder
see-
to act a fool when there's kids around.
I mean,
That's true.
yes,
That's true.
but
That's
but
true.
also I would rather not put that like.
you shouldn't have
I
your
don't
kid
know.
running around unattended.
I just feel
at a
like that
festival anyway,
trust
but
is like I don't know. It's very conflicting
it's
for
a
me
cultural
because
thing, man. EDC is the wrong one to like. Do not do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
not,
I'm a
that's
worry
not
board.
an all
No,
ages
pause.
festival.
So dumb.
Pause.
Yeah.
All age festival is very different from an all age rave.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I
well,
do
it's
know
true.
that there's actually a family rave that goes on in California. So if you guys still want to rave and then still bring your kids, go to that.
Yeah, so I went to base camp in Tahoe, and that one's an all ages event. And I actually traded candy with a 9-year-old kid, and I was wondering if he knew the motion of
Yeah.
of trading, and he was like, "Yeah, my dad taught me." I thought it was the
cool.
cutest
That's so
thing.
cute.
That's very
I thought it was the
sweet.
cutest thing.
I
Ever.
do want to bring my little brother to.
But see, with that, like
Analogies.
the precedence, the intention of the festival is for you to bring your family. right?
Yeah.
With other festivals, I feel like it's not the intention.
Yeah.
So at that point, I feel like it almost just becomes like. I don't want to say selfish thing, but it kind of is because I will always feel like there is a form of risk involved with bringing your kid to a festival. You know, it's just with something like that, it's more geared towards it. So because it's more geared towards it, I think
There's more precautions.
Yeah, there's more precautions
Yeah.
and there's more awareness
Actually-
too. How many times have you been at a festival or like I know I've been at Coachella and I've been like, whoa, a kid.
Like, you
Whoa,
know,
a kid.
Yeah,
Well,
I just
I
feel
kind of already knew that, like, you know, it was in all ages.
Yeah.
And I kind of already set that precedent to myself that, okay, there might be kids here.
right,
Yeah.
exactly.
And I just want to throw this in there. Then it's also based on the event that's built to have kids at it. Example, Coachella. Example,
Yeah.
Lightning in a Bottle. Base
Camp.
Base Camp. They're built to have kids and be kind of a safer environment versus EDC. That is very much kids should not be here.
So would you say EDC is more like a rave than a festival?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's not okay to bring kids to raves, but it is okay to bring festivals.
I feel like it's too loose of a term.
I think the level of danger is higher at a rave versus at a festival, for example. Because and I'm
What's
just
the
thinking,
what's the difference?
I don't think there's a difference. I think
I don't
there's
think
still
so.
gonna be, because at, like, again, like
So there's
the
no
Travis
difference
Scott,
between a
the
festival
Travis
and a
Scott,
rave.
the Travis Scott event was a concert / festival. That was a festival.
I feel like the
No.
issue
Wait,
is
confirm that. I thought it was a concert. And
Astro
also,
World.
I think it was a festival.
I think
Astro
it's a
World.
festival.
It's a
believe it
festival.
was a
I think
festival.
the issue
Festival.
that Grayson's trying to cover is that because we get so many comments saying you're not at a rave.
Yo,
that's
it's not
a
a rave.
festival.
That's not a rave,
That's not a
bro.
rave.
Wait,
you're not a
but-
real raver.
You're not in a basement.
But real quick though, I just want to say, like, as far as the kid thing goes, like, do we or do we not agree, like, bringing your kid to any sort of event? Like, what is our consensus on that?
I
My-
think
I don't have a kid.
as a
I don't know.
as an adult and as a parent, if that is something that you decide to do, you should also know that is your sole responsibility.
Yes.
That if anything happens to that kid,
I
it
agree.
is your fault.
Yes.
yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's rough.
And
you know.
here's
Yeah.
the thing too. Now to bring it back to the whole baby thing and why that's like maybe not the best idea is because, you know, the needs of a baby are significantly higher
Yes.
than the needs of, you know, your friend who's
100%.
25 years old.
100%.
Or maybe your 15-year-old kid. The needs of that human is just
Yeah.
higher.
Yeah,
because of,
especially if the child has like a set schedule, like a set nap, a set feeding time. Like
Yeah.
you constantly have to keep up with that. So
Yeah.
I feel like bringing a child into a festival, it's gonna kind of mess up their lifestyle in a way. So it's like, do you want to risk that?
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely forfeiting like a large portion of the fun that you're going to have to just make sure that your child is safe at all times.
Yeah.
And also to make sure that your child is having fun too. So it's a lot of work. I just think it's going to take a ton of responsibility as
I
an
think-
individual.
Now
and
that I
if you
think
can
about
do
it
that,
too, I've only seen kids during the day at festivals.
Yes, I feel like that's
Never
more.
seen a kid at night,
It's
you
more
know?
safe.
oh yeah, I've never seen a kid at night.
Never seen a kid at night. Where do they go?
Probably
They-
brought him home, which is probably
go-
the
that's
good thing
the-
for them.
I think in my opinion, it's okay to bring kids to an all ages event, but I also want to make sure that the kid is old enough to be able to experience what's happening. It's like, why
Yeah.
would you bring like a 5-month-old?
Yeah, the kid
Do you
needs
just-
consciousness.
that's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on.
Like,
Yeah.
are they even going to enjoy it?
Yeah.
Like at that point.
If it's like a 5-year-old kid and they're having fun and dancing, like, oh yeah, I'll do that.
Think
you
about
know?
why you're bringing the kid to the event. Are you bringing the kid to the event because the kid loves electronic music? Or are you bringing the kid to the event because you don't want to have to deal with finding a babysitter? Or you want to put onto them that you want them to like electronic music when you don't know that's what they actually like, or
Yeah.
you know, whatever the case.
Because
right?
I've seen tons of videos of like, you know, parents bringing their kids to like EDM shows, and I think it's awesome. I think it's like you're raising the next generation of ravers, which is so fucking sick. But yeah, I think it's just more enjoyable for both parties if the kid is able to consciously enjoy it too.
Yeah, I just think you need to like ask yourself these questions before you decide to do something like that. And if you know your child and you know that you are a responsible person, then I think under those conditions it would be okay.
It's not EDC.
Just not EDC.
Not EDC. That's a lot.
Not
Absolutely
EDC, please.
But
Yeah.
rounding
Great-
back to your
Grayson,
thought,
yeah.
Grayson.
Oh yeah, okay. So EDC, it's not okay to bring your kid EDC. Well, like, why? What's the difference between EDC and maybe something that's more accepting or applicable? Like we said earlier, that I've only seen a kid during the day at any kind of festival. So that means at night they're not out there. And some festivals are only at night, and I would constitute them more as raves, as radical audio visual experiences. So like loud music, really bright lights. There's like
Production, yeah.
there's not a lot of, I guess there's some kids would like that, you know, there's Disneyland and stuff like that. It's kind of that chaotic. So I don't think it would be that wrong of a place, but there's also a lot of like, I don't know, dirty stuff.
I guess I
just
have-
around.
I have two thoughts because like generally speaking, I feel like a lot of raves take place at night.
Yeah.
You know, that in itself is nighttime is danger because you can't see things. Your senses are a little bit different. So kids, you can lose your kid easily in the dark.
Yes.
That being said, also, and I'm just going to even use the term, the analogy, the acronym of rave, RAVE. Kids that are still developing their eardrum, developing their eyesight, developing their everything, and to have all these like intense colors, lights, sounds. That's what a rave is.
Fry all their brain cells.
You're gonna fry it. And then music festivals, because I don't think they're mutually exclusive. I've definitely been to music festivals that don't feel like a rave because, I mean, the music's great, but it's not a super intense, overstimulating lasers in all directions, sound engulfing my body, and all that stuff. Like again, children, they're developing, so their bodies. Is the
term rave and the term festival, are they becoming synonymous? Is it just
I think it's only synonymous for the EDM community in a way.
Actually I could see that.
Because although like we do get comments, people being, oh, it's not a rave, that's a festival. But in
Kids
a way,
don't know what raving
or
is.
it's like, why are you calling yourself a raver? Like,
I like to think of it like raving as again like a more of like a mannerism, because if I'm going to, for example, EDC, I in a sense am raving, but if I'm going to something like Rolling Loud, I'm not raving. And again, that's in the sense of like how you act or how you dance or how you're feeling. That would,
I do think of it as a verb too. Like if I'm in a like a warehouse, right, at a festival or whatever, and I'm like in the crowd or I'm at the back of the crowd, I'm at a set, I'm either flowing or I'm dancing, I'm grooving. Like to me, that is the act of raving. It's just like the act of participating in those cultural things around that music. Like if you were at if this was all a very tribalistic feeling, which of course it is, like where we were talking earlier about how we're our free selves when we're here. So it's very tribal and very primitive. So like when I'm at the festival, when I'm at the set and I'm dancing, I'm grooving, that's raving for me. But I'm always at the festival. I'm at the space. To me, that's what that is. It's like the space, and then the raving is the act.
So you would say that it's defined by the action of it versus
I think rave is a verb now,
environment. Okay, because I think that's a really interesting thought, because does that mean that when I go to Coachella and I go to an EDM set at Coachella, I'm raving?
Yes.
Yeah.
Huh.
I'd say so.
Interesting.
Yeah.
but you go to Doja Cat and you're not.
You go to Doja Cat.
Interesting.
What about
Is that where the distinction is? Because I thought in my head
Doja Cat a
the
radical
distinction.
experience?
Well, no, I thought the distinction in my head was electronic music, right? If I'm going to see electronic music, that means I am now raving. But if I'm going to see something else, that means I'm no longer raving. Is that where you draw the line? Is that the distinguishing factor?
There's such a gray area in like all of this.
I don't know. It like really depends on how you define it.
Because I think the old heads see it. Sorry, old heads. I'm calling you old heads. I think the old heads see it as no. True raving is the warehouse. It's the small capacity, like very intimate
but then
feelings.
they're just describing the environment.
Right, but I'm saying that's to them, that's what defines a rave versus I feel like us, we're using the more generic term, and I feel like when you define raving with going and seeing an electronic music set, you're like broadening the term a little bit more, right? So it's not so specific to, whereas the older people who have been in the scene for a long time, they're seeing it as, no, you are only a raver if you have actually gone to the underground raves, the stuff that started all of this, right? Because it has evolved over time.
Yeah,
that's the
so
thing.
that's where I'm confused, because if it has evolved and it's become bigger and more production, isn't it technically still raving?
Well,
it just grew in size.
It could be.
I think it could just be both.
If an animal evolves into a slightly different variation of what it actually is, it is named a different species, but it still falls under that animal.
Like Pokemon.
It's like an umbrella term.
Yeah. So like a bird, if a bird like evolves to have a longer beak or whatever, you would call it something different, but it's still a bird.
Pidgeotto.
It's still within the same family. I think what he's trying to get at is like when the raves were small in that sense, yes, that's a rave. But as it grew over time, it was still the same thing. But because it's getting so big, a big gathering like that is now a music festival. So in my opinion, it can play both.
Also,
both
raving was like counterculture, right? And so now it's not so much counterculture anymore. It's kind of just like culture. It's corporate culture.
Yeah.
Like,
So is rave just the
v-
culture?
Well, that's the thing.
What
like,
came first,
I
the
think
music
that's, I think
festival or
that's
the
where
rave?
that's where the love
chicken
of
or
like
the egg?
the defense of like the idea that this was a real rave, like back in
Yeah.
the day in the warehouse,
Yeah.
the sweaty vibes. Like it still gets sweaty, by the way.
Yeah.
But like the fact that it's growing and now it's not so counterculture, instead it's like culture, like the term plur being trademarked and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like the corporatization and like the fact that this balloon has gone up and is now just kind of owned by people, I think is what puts the bad taste in people's mouths more than just like
I would
what
agree.
word we say.
Yeah, because I do feel like there is this attachment with the older generation to raving kind of being like rebelling, you know,
Yeah.
like rebelling against
And
that.
now what are we rebelling against?
And yeah, no, now it's become so mainstream
Well-
or mainstream, but it's become a
Okay.
lot more commercialized to the point where it's like, are we even rebelling against something anymore?
Okay, so then this is a thought. Although we know John Summit as like a mainstream artist, we know Illenium as a mainstream artist, you guys also have to realize that like they're still so minuscule because they're only in a niche. So them thinking that like it's this big thing and commercialized, we're still a small niche.
Well, no, I just mean like it's commercialized in the sense of it's done on a much larger production scale, and because of that, like a lot of the people who are in the scene from the beginning feel maybe they feel like that feeling of intimacy, that feeling of rebelling and having these small things against the wishes of other people and the authorities or whatever. They feel like that feeling is gone, maybe.
So
you know,
is it bad
because-
to see like your underground artists that you've loved for so long finally get their rise of stardom?
No, it's not bad. I think
It's not bad at all.
No, I mean
I think it's the money grabs that put a bad. It's not the music that puts bad taste in people's mouths. It's the money grabs that you just see everywhere.
Yeah,
it's just like,
and-
oh,
Okay.
yo, this much money for this
Yeah.
lounge that we have. It's like,
and that's
okay.
just a change in perspective too, because
Yeah.
I feel like at the end of the day, like like the people, I have a lot of respect for the people who have been in the scene for a long time, but I do feel like hanging on to that idea of what that is just toxic. Like I feel like you should embrace the evolution of what the scene
Yeah.
has become.
having a
like-
discussion isn't toxic. It's
Yeah.
the barking.
Yeah, it's
like
the,
that's
like-
not a rave. It's like
Yeah,
I
be
feel
quiet,
it's the
like-
comments
man.
that you guys aren't ravers and stuff like that, where I feel like, okay, well, like,
We're just like
what
talking-
is a raver?
They just have to, in a way, accept it because it's not like it's gonna go back to the way it was. It's just gonna grow bigger and bigger.
I think we're all genuinely doing the same thing, just evolved for the same purpose.
And it's just
Exactly.
like how we talk about with genres, right? Like they don't exist. I feel like it's just all words. Like we're essentially doing more or less the same thing, you know? Like we are
Yeah.
all gathering at an event and listening to music. Maybe it's not as intimate or it's not as private anymore, but we're still essentially there to listen to music. Not everyone. Some people go for the wrong reasons.
But that's a good point though, because it's like the core group of people that would have been doing the thing that we were doing in the past, like the raving in the dark dungeons, right? I just like call them dungeons. But like if we were in a dark dungeon raving, like the core group of people is still there at the festivals. But the fact that the internet is now a thing, like
Yeah.
everybody knows about everything now.
Yeah.
Like you're accustomed, you're like see random things that you've never seen before in your entire life, and like something like raving is a lot of fun.
Yeah,
People,
so-
old head ravers, sorry for the term, like you know that was fun. And so obviously if somebody sees that it's a lot of fun, they're going to want to go. They're not
So
always going to be there for the right reasons, but that's part of the
Do you
age.
blame the evolution of humans and technology, or do you blame the culture?
I mean, what do you mean like blame?
I don't think you have to
Because
blame
no,
anyone.
no, it's
Yeah.
because back then, obviously, with these raves, it was very low production
Mm-hmm.
and very small, tight spaces. But then, obviously, with the evolutionary of technology and everything, people wanted bigger and better. So
well, the people that evolved all of this was the people that had the low production. They were like, we need to make this
Well,
better.
that's
And then they
exactly-
did.
Some people.
That's exactly
yes.
true.
Okay, yeah.
Some
yeah.
of them, right?
So you can't really blame anyone. Is it the chicken or the egg? Is it?
Well,
It is what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah, I don't think you need to be like what's the vocabularists? Is that a term?
No.
Okay. Well, we don't need to focus so much on like the word itself. I feel like the term raver or raving encapsulates the experience of going and attending an electronic music festival where you are all there for the same reason. I think Plur is part of what encapsulates that community.
In America.
Yeah, in America. And I feel like that is essentially what it is. It's the essence of raving, right? And we're
Yeah.
not talking about the exact term. We're not talking about the exact environment or exact
And
experience.
it's not
of-
like we're neglecting the origin story
Yeah.
of like raving and EDM in general. It's just
I think
how we
what's-
perceive it now.
I think we're embracing the evolution.
People,
Yeah.
people that are mad at the terms evolving or the scene changing also should have a little bit of sympathy for us, I think, because like now the fact that it's bigger means that I have to watch myself.
That's true.
It means
Yeah.
that I have to watch out for people that aren't a part of that like core identity of like actually raving for the right reasons, and I have to be more careful of everybody that
Yeah.
thousands of people that are around me. When as somebody who was in a smaller setting, you didn't have to do that. So honestly,
I
have a
guess-
little bit of sympathy. You
I
know?
guess
Come
also
on, it's
in a
tough out
way
here.
it's like
It's tough
why
out here,
What an
man.
interesting
no, it's
perspective.
like in a way what I don't understand is like they're getting mad at us, but so you're getting mad that we weren't born earlier to experience.
That's my bad, man.
No,
Just
I think
sorry.
I think it, I think
Sorry,
it's
I'll
I
have
think
my
it, I think it's just like maybe like I said, it's that attachment to that
I get
time
it.
and
Which I
maybe
get it
feeling
because-
I
maybe
get it.
feeling disrespected. You know,
But
maybe
we-
feeling
yeah,
like
okay.
because
Yeah.
there's no acknowledgement of that, and there's
Yeah.
there's no effort necessarily to. I mean, there is though. There are undergrounds that still exist,
Yeah.
but there's no like large effort to like make it exactly how it was then. But again, that's just not embracing the
You
evolution.
can't
of
do
it,
that.
you
Also,
know?
it's never
Yeah.
gonna be that way again. Like you can't do that. I mean, you could throw a retro like style rave. That'd be
Yeah.
cool. Somebody throw
Yeah.
a theme
Throwback.
like that.
Dude,
You know?
undergrounds still happen all
I wear
the time.
I wear
I've
big
been to a
pants.
couple.
I wear big pants to raves, and I love it when I get complimented by people who I consider veterans because you just
Yeah.
you know, man.
Tip of the Jenko jeans.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
just the really long like parachute. Yeah,
the ones
just-
that you can like
yeah,
shuffle to,
yeah,
and it looks
yeah.
like you're gliding.
Exactly. So like there's little nods that you can do as a new raver to somebody that maybe has been in the scene for a while. There's little
Yeah.
nods that you can do, but
Yeah.
we can't change this, man. Like
Yeah,
we
it
can't-
is what it is.
It is what
Yeah.
it is.
Embrace the chaos. Embrace the evolution.
Hey, you're welcome. TM.
Damn.
I'm adding my own embrace the evolution though.
Embrace the evolution. Embrace the Pokemon. Yeah.
Embrace the
But yeah.
Pidgeotto.
By the way, guys, I noticed you guys all changed shirts at the same time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you got one on too.
Oh, wow.
What's this? Do we have I'm Peaking jersey merch?
What?
All right, so we have new merch. We have these wonderful jerseys that you can go and buy if you would like to support us. I'm gonna go ahead and show the back real quick.
Yeah, get up. Pose.
That is an awkward way to.
That is a
Check them
really
out.
weird way.
Check them
Wow.
out. That's what is
Couldn't
that?
you have just stood
Can
up?
you see it?
I'm sorry for this,
Honestly,
guys.
couldn't someone have just given him another one to hold up to camera?
Oh my
sorry.
god,
Can
that
we
makes
get a
so much
jersey,
sense.
please?
If you want Devin
Can
to
we get a
stop this,
jersey, please?
subscribe. All right. Cool.
That was probably in the top
take the
5
plastic
worst
off.
ways I could have
So
displayed that.
yeah. So what's the inspiration behind these guys? I didn't know anything about these. What's where'd you guys did you
Yeah,
design
like I
them?
said, when
Yeah,
did you
these have
put this
been
on me?
okay. So these have been in production for a
Months.
while, guys. Like almost a year. I feel like.
This is the front, and this is the back.
Hey.
Do you listen to this podcast with a Rave Bay? Well, look at that. Now you got matching
You
Rave
got
Bay
matching
jerseys.
jerseys.
Link to buy
Dude.
one will be in the description, and
You know
we
where that
appreciate
is,
all of your
right?
guys' support.
Come and match with us.
Yeah.
Or don't.
What is the
Be part of the Ray fam.
What's the number? What's the meaning behind the number?
Yes. So there's a 4 on the back, and to be honest, we were gonna have it be 69, but we decided against it. So we
I
are
decided-
having.
I don't
the,
think we
Too
actually
bad.
ever wanted.
That's
That was
really
just
too
that's
bad.
for the sample.
I think 69.
Purely for the sample.
There you go. It's
I
just
think
for the
69
sample.
would have been cool.
Yeah, that's a-
You know,
Yeah,
that's a nice-
the number 4 just represents the 4 that started this.
The core
being,
4.
Being
The
myself,
Fantastic 4.
Mickie, Nand, and Bryn, and now we have our lovely added guests
And
as
I
our
got
added
him.
hosts as well, Grayson, Daniel, and now Jan. So we have more to the family now, but we just wanted to pay homage to the original.
The OGs.
Yeah, the OGs.
Speaking of Raven OGs, huh?
Yeah.
The I'm peaking OGs.
I do think we should have some variations though with some different numbers.
Yeah.
Be cool.
In the
like
future.
69.
Yeah.
Like,
or
sure.
like 7.
Why 7?
Why 7?
Or is it 7? Yeah, 7.
Oh, because there's
'Cause
7
the
of
new-
us.
Now there's 7 of us.
Oh.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Wow, lucky 7.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, get the first version first.
Yeah. We'll have a V2, I'm sure. Sometime.
Yeah, for
If you
sure.
want to look this good, you know what to do.
That's about all the time we have for today's episode. This was really cool and really fun doing this on site.
It was actually pretty sick just having people walk by.
Yeah, honestly, it
Yeah,
was
what's up,
really
man?
cool. And I think we talked about some really deep, really pressing questions. Very stimulating conversation for me personally.
Love you too.
So we'd like to quickly take a moment to thank our sponsor. Oh wow!
Oh, wow, that's-
Oh, I have one. I thought I
So
didn't have
true.
any. We'd like to take a quick moment to thank our sponsor, Boom Boom.
Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Thank you, Boom
Boom
Boom.
again, for sponsoring us and really helping support us. If you don't know what these are nasal sticks, scented nasal sticks that you can buy, and they're a great way to keep you invigorated at festivals.
Keep you
And also
energized.
just to like clear up your congestion.
Keep you away from all that dirt in your nose, man.
Yeah, I
No
love.
stinky stink.
We were at an event where I was feeling very, very nauseous for a very odd reason. But
Why'd you say it like that?
Oh, you
Don't
know.
look at me. It's not
Oh, you
my
know.
fault.
You outed yourself.
But the Boom Booms really did help make me not nauseous. It almost like I guess took my mind off of it, or
Yeah.
it kind of just leveled how I was.
It's a good
feeling.
distraction.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Very
Fruit.
nice.
By the way, can I borrow that one?
Yeah.
Are you?
Let me see that real quick.
Oh, that's a nice catch.
Thanks.
So once again, I want to say thank you for watching through this entire episode, and thank Ono, being one and only events resort
yeah.
takeover. They're the ones that have brought us here to the Serene Hotel for EDC,
Yep.
and they're just a great group of people
Yeah.
trying to make the festival experience a lot easier and more attainable for people who are like traveling to
more
music
fun.
festivals.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
definitely
so-
go check them out.
And
Yeah.
so, like, for example, if you want to go to EDC next year, but you have no one to go with, Oh No is a great place to meet people and experience the
Yeah.
festival together. So,
They're also doing what festivals? Bonnaroo, right?
yes,
I-
they,
Are they
have,
doing
they have
Bonnaroo?
other festivals that they
Don't
do.
know.
North Coast.
North
They're doing
Coast.
North Coast.
They're doing
Yeah.
North Coast.
So check out if you
Yeah.
don't have anybody and you want to go to North Coast.
Yeah.
Check out Oh No.
Shoot them a follow. They usually post like what festivals they're
And
going to be.
yeah,
at. Yeah. But yeah, on that note, again, we have a Patreon to anyone that is looking to further support us. You can go ahead and check that out. We have bonus episodes that we usually post on the Patreon, and they usually go with each episode.
There's weird
bonus
music in
segments.
there.
Yeah, we listen to weird music. We talk shit, sometimes with the artists. And yeah.
so we spilled the tea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so definitely go and check that out. We'll have everyone's names on screen as I'm saying this. If you are a supporter of the Patreon, thank you so much. We love you. And even if you're not a supporter of the Patreon,
We
still
still
love
love you.
Don't forget to smash
There
that
we
like button,
go.
hit that subscribe notification bell, and comment. Do you like day parties or after parties better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking
we're
of
running
which-
on very little sleep
Yes.
right now.
Yeah.
So
Speaking of which, we got to get ready for a night party show.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Day zero pre-parties, baby.
Lego.
See you guys.
Bye
Love
bye.
you.
Toodles.